Do you want more control over your life? More freedom? More confidence? Do you want to set your own rules and steer your own ship? Are you sick and tired of the 9-to-5 grind that's eating away at you and robbing you of all your time, barely getting you by? How about a new way? A new side hustle, side income you can use now to do things like pay off debt, buy a new car, wipe away credit card bills and student loans, remodel your home, take exotic vacations, fancier dates, buy your friends a round of drinks, send a nice gift to your family. How about an emergency fund or even a down payment for a house? And so much more. Welcome to the Flipping Ninja Podcast, where we teach you how to take charge of your life and make your own money flipping things on your spare time. Sound complicated? We'll cover it all, from what to buy, where to look, marketing and selling tactics that create demand, and bring you top dollar, research, pricing, creating ads that sell like crazy, and even powerful principles on the inner game of success. So if the idea of being your own boss is exciting, you're in the right place. Now, here's your host, the world's leading authority on flipping, AJ, from theflippingninja.com, unplugged and unleashed.
Hey guys, this is AJ, the Flipping Ninja. This is part 2 of timeless traits that make up a successful flipping ninja. Timeless lessons that make up a professional Craigslist flipper. This is part 2 out of 2 parts. Part 1 ran out of time, so we decided to make 2 parts, 2 episodes. So the next trait that you want to have in order to be successful in this business is you have to know how to sell. Now, what does that mean exactly, knowing how to sell? That means you have to know people. You have to understand people. You have to understand human beings. You have to understand how they think, what motivates them, what drives them, right? You have to know about things like emotion. You have to know about things like logic. You have to know how we make decisions, how we make buying decisions, what motivates us, what influences us to take out our money, pull out our wallet, and take out our credit cards and buy stuff, even if we don't have the money for it, right? So this has to do with selling, with sales skills, with influence, with persuasion, right? So and this is probably the most critical skill set, period, not just with flipping, but in any business, in the business of life, you should know how to sell. Okay, most people get all weird. They feel weird whenever they hear the word sell or sales, or they're like, oh, I hate sales. It's so interesting when someone says they don't like sales or they're not a good salesperson. It's like, listen, if you talk to other human beings, if you live, if you're interacting with other human beings, you're constantly selling. Okay, all sales is your ability to influence someone. Okay, so if you can get someone, let's say you're at home and you're about to watch, your wife wants to watch a movie, you don't feel like going, you would rather go out to dinner somewhere. If you can persuade her to skip the movie and go out to dinner instead, and you can get her to be on the same page as you and actually want to do that instead now, then you just sold her on it, right? I mean, it's kind of a weird, just, like simple, weird example, but the point I'm making is too many people think sales is a weird thing, or it's like a weird term. So, the point is it's not, okay? So as a flipping ninja, you have to learn how to sell, okay? You have to learn how to sell products. You have to learn how to create pictures in people's minds, okay? You have to know how to create emotional experiences, okay? So, how can you apply that to when you're flipping stuff? So let's say you're flipping a keyboard, right? So I play piano. I've flipped probably hundreds of keyboards at this point. I'm not going to buy a keyboard. I'm not going to post a keyboard for sale and simply be like, here's a piano for sale. Here's a digital piano for sale. You could plug it in. It turns on. It's electric. It works. It sounds good. It's in good condition. I mean, you can do that. But what if I were to tell you by really selling the keyboard, you'll make 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times as much profit if you can really sell it and create an emotional experience. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You simply have to, think and just visualize it. So instead of saying something like that, maybe you could say something like, look, this piano, like, it's crazy, but when you play it, you actually feel like it takes you away somewhere else. It's like it just grabs you. It grabs you, and it's like it takes you on this ride. I mean, the sound quality is so good. Most digital pianos, most keyboards, they sound cheap. They sound like they're, just these cheap electric sounds. They don't even sound like pianos, right? But this digital piano, the sound of the piano itself is so authentic that most people think it's an actual grand piano. That's how good it sounds. That's how accurate it sounds. So when you're buying this digital piano, you're not just buying a cheap electric toy. You're buying an actual experience. You're buying something that, instead of spending thousands of dollars on a big, bulky, heavy, real piano that you have to, spend $100 a year to have it tuned. You have to do all this maintenance stuff, like this, this Anchor. You could have that whole experience right in this digital piano that's a fraction of the size, a fraction of the weight, and a fraction of the price. So suddenly, like I said, I was just literally doing that, off the cuff. But do you see the difference between the first example of digital piano for sale, plugs in, it works good, good condition, call or text if interested? That versus the second experience where you really painted this picture for them. I mean, even if you don't play piano, you're going to be like, holy shit, that sounds really like that sounds legit. I'm interested in that. So do you guys see how the difference, when you learn to sell, it's all about creating these pictures, these experiences for people, getting them to see things, right? So a lot of times it's simply a matter of just educating them. It's not even a matter of knowing some crazy sales tactics, being some silver-tongued, guy or girl. A lot of times it's simply a matter of just educating them on things that most people don't talk about, right? I mean, if I were to tell you this piano sounds like a real, authentic grand piano, if I were to say this keyboard sounds like a real piano, I mean, that's not anything, that's not something special or magical that I crafted. It's like, no, it's a fact. The fact that this piano actually does sound like a real piano. So why not tell them that, right? So the point is, one of the traits that makes up a flipping ninja, a successful entrepreneur, a successful leader, a successful business owner, a successful buyer and reseller, is that they know how to sell. Okay, so that's one of the most important skills that you have to learn, is learn how to sell. Okay, learn how to sell, and you'll pretty much get everything you want in life, whether it comes to money, living situation, finances, business, relationships. Every part of your life will improve if you can learn how to sell. Okay? So the next trait that I want to cover that makes up a successful flipping ninja is learn how to market. Okay? You want to learn marketing skills. Okay? It's one thing to learn how to sell. Selling is number one. But literally alongside selling is knowing marketing. You have to be a master marketer. If you can learn how to be a master marketer and a master salesman, then you will be unstoppable. Simple as that. Okay? Now, marketing is simply the act of knowing how to basically showcase your services in a way that gets others to come to you. Okay, so just like with the keyboard example I gave you, if I were, let's just say, just for an example, if I were working at a musical instrument store and I was a salesperson there, customers would come in, or I would go out to customers and I would sell them. Just like I was pitching you earlier, I would sell them and I would pitch them and I would try to persuade them. I would try to convince them to buy this keyboard or buy this piano, right? And that's fine. That's perfectly normal. But marketing is getting them to come to you. That is basically showcasing the product, the service, the company, the brand, and getting them to come to you. So that simply could mean, in a flipping context, let's say I posted an ad on Craigslist and I took my whole sales presentation, basically, everything good about the keyboard, and the call to action at the end, like just like a simple Craigslist ad for selling a keyboard. I posted on Craigslist. Now suddenly my post is just up there the whole time and it's doing all the selling for me. So now people are going to see that and they're going to call me. They're going to text me saying, hey, is your keyboard available? I'm interested. Because the ad that I created, the ad that I wrote, the photos that I took, everything, it did all the selling for me. Essentially, the ad that I created was my salesman. The ad that I created and posted online was my salesman who was working for me 24/7. Even while I'm sleeping, it's up there. Now, what did I do? I just created the ad. That's it. I didn't have to sell anyone in person. I literally just created the ad. Someone called me. They said, hey, I saw your keyboard for sale. I want to buy it. I meet up with them and we do the transaction. And that's it. Does that make sense? Okay, so that leads me to the next trait that makes up a successful flipping ninja, which is you have to learn the technologies. Okay, you have to learn how to use technology in order to make money, in order to build your business, in order to scale your business and showcase your products, okay? You could be the best salesman in the world, you could be the best marketer in the world, but if you don't know how to use technology, you don't know how to use all the different websites and all the different channels and vehicles and all these different things, the apps, if you don't know how to use them, then you're gonna be very limited in what you can do. I mean, the fact is we live in a world of technology, right? It's funny, so I have this app on my phone called, I think it's called, here, let me pull it up right now. So this app on my phone is called, it's just called Vocabulary Builder, right? And basically every day it gives me a word, a new word that you can learn and learn the meaning of and etc. So basically there's this funny word that, it's so funny. I never heard of it before, but it's called, let's see. Okay, so the word is Luddite. Luddite, right? Luddite. So the meaning is it's a derogatory term for a person opposed to new technology or ways of working. And the word in a sentence, a bunch of small-minded Luddites resisting progress. And it was just so funny because I was cracking up with this word, right? This word is such a funny word. I mean, obviously it's not the best word you want to use, but it has to do with what we're talking about here. So, basically if you're the type of person who is not embracing and accepting technology and you're not getting on board with it all and learning how to use it, you're going to be left behind, okay? You're probably already behind, okay? If you're one of those people who's like, oh, all of this new stuff, I don't want to learn how, Facebook, Craigslist, all this stuff, I don't know how to use a computer. It's like, you're done, you're over, okay? You're going to be left behind. You live in a world where you're not adapting to the times, okay? You have to learn, just like you had to learn how to drive a car. It's the same thing with technology and with using the tools, okay? It's not, you don't even have to love technology, right? Like you don't even have to, love, I don't care if you hate it. I don't care if you're one of those people who's like, oh, I hate the internet. I hate computers. I hate smartphones. I hate trying to figure all this stuff out. It's so hard. I don't like it. I don't care if you don't like it, okay? Learn it and use it Because if you don't, you're going to be left behind, you're going to be poor, you're going to be broke, you're going to be not as successful in everything, okay? So one of the traits that make up a successful flipping ninja is master technology, okay? Learn how to use all the different apps, all the different tools, the websites, the, computer, smartphone, everything. Okay, learn how to use the tools and watch your money multiply. Okay, 99% of the money I make flipping is literally from my smartphone. Okay, we're talking thousands of dollars. When I made over 100K in flipping things in sales, that was all from my smartphone. Can you believe that? It's crazy. These smartphones we have these days are so powerful that we don't even need computers or laptops anymore. I mean, we could truly do it all just from the phones. I mean, they're so powerful. We've got internet, we've got Facebook on Facebook Marketplace, we've got Craigslist, we've got eBay, we've got, these built-in high-def cameras on our phones. And we've got texting capabilities, we've got phone capabilities, we've got the ability to have multiple different phone numbers on our phones. You can have your regular phone number through your carrier, and you can have second and third numbers. You could have a Google Voice number that you use just for flipping, right? Let's say you don't want to, you're like me and you don't want to use your real number when you're posting things for sale. You can have a Google Voice number. You can have a phone number that's just for flipping things. So this number, it's the only place it's ever going to be is, on Craigslist or wherever. It doesn't matter where it is because it's strictly for flipping. So all the calls you get to it, all the texts you get, it's only going to be for buying and selling. And your privacy is protected. You don't have to worry about, your phone number, your real actual one being out in the open. I mean, you have to learn the technology. You have to learn all about the tools in order to maximize your profits, maximize your time, and maximize everything, maximize your life, okay? So that's the next trait of a successful flipping ninja. So the next one we're gonna talk about is something I call having the eye for the deal. Now, the eye for the deal is a term that I coined a few years ago. Basically, what it is when you're constantly, just naturally, always on the lookout for deals and opportunity. So that means anywhere you go, everywhere you go, you have like this beacon. You have like this beacon that constantly is on the lookout for deals, okay? Constantly, everywhere you go, automatically just running in the background. It's like a program that's running in the background. You're always looking for money-making deals. So essentially, you're seeing dollar signs all around you, okay? Now, the goal is to get to a point where you're not consciously doing it. You're not constantly, like if let's say you're out with some friends somewhere, you want to be able to be present in what you're doing with your friends or, whatever it is, but you want to be able to unconsciously or subconsciously be constantly aware and on the lookout for deals. So if you're at the store, you're just browsing for fun and you see something right away that's priced really low, and right away you just instinctually know and notice it, and you're like, oh my God, I could totally make $300 off of that if I buy it and sell it, right? So that is what having the eye for the deal means. Now, once you have the eye for the deal and it's constantly turned on and it's constantly activated, basically anywhere you go, everywhere you go, you'll see, money will basically come to you. You become this money magnet, because the truth is, when it comes to deals and this whole flipping, business, there are so many deals around you. There are so many deals in front of you, behind you. There's so many deals that you will never run out of opportunity, okay? I once heard someone say deals are like, good deals are like buses. If you miss one, there's always another one coming around the corner. Whether it's 15 minutes later, half hour later, you miss out on one, it doesn't matter. There's another one that's coming around the corner, right? So that's the same thing when it comes to deals. They're everywhere, okay? You'll never run. There's an abundance of opportunity. There's an abundance of money that you can tap into, that I can tap into, that your whole town can tap into. And there will still be even more, right? So the challenge isn't that there needs to be more opportunity or deals or money to go around. There's plenty of that. The challenge is you have to know how to recognize them. You have to start noticing them, right? And once you have that, once you develop what I call the eye for the deal, you have the Midas touch. I mean, everything you touch turns to gold. Everywhere you go, you'll never be without, it doesn't matter what happens. You'll always have that security because you are the asset. You are the thing that makes money because you can see it. You can recognize opportunity and deals. So like I said, and there are so many traits, there are so many lessons, there are so many skills that make up a successful flipping ninja, but those are some of the most important ones that, for starters, I would recommend really developing, really learning. And, once you start, like I said, just keep at it. The biggest thing is take action, because action leads to learning, it leads to momentum, it leads to experience. And that's truly the best way to learn this stuff and develop the skills, is to just take action. Just keep taking action, even if 90% of it is wrong and incorrect, because that will be so much more valuable to you than just trying to read about it or listen, to listen to podcasts about it or watch videos about it. It's like, at some point, you're gonna have to go out and take action so that you could learn and then you can move ahead. So we're gonna wrap this podcast episode up. Those are just some of the traits that make up a successful flipping ninja, a successful entrepreneur, a successful buyer and reseller, a Craigslist flipper, a leader, all of those things, right? So like I said, there's probably thousands of different things and traits that make up, a solid and successful flipping ninja. Those are some of them. Start working on them, start thinking about them. And the main thing is just start taking action, right? It's one thing to just listen to me talking about them or, reading about them or watching videos about them. That's all good. That's all important. You need to build that foundation of knowledge, but there comes a point where you have to graduate, meaning you have to go out and take action. You got to go in the trenches, do the work so that you can learn, so that you can build the momentum, so you can gain experience, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's about doing. It's about taking action. And it's about learning these things and really internalizing them in the real world, right? So I hope that helps. And until next time, remember, you're always just one flip away from freedom.
This has been the Flipping Ninja Podcast. From the crew at theflippingninja.com, we believe that all Americans should be able to make their own money without having to rely on a job. If you're ready to ditch the 9-to-5, visit theflippingninja.com and join our Flipping Ninja Blueprint Masterclass, where you'll discover how to earn a reliable side income of $1,000 to $5,000 a month flipping things with just 5 to 10 hours a week. See, we're on a mission to help 100,000 people earn $1,000 a month on the side flipping things. Working professionals, students, parents, men, women, artists, techies, entrepreneurs, introverts, total newbies, you name it. Be a part of the revolution and blast out of living paycheck to paycheck once and for all at www.theflippingninja.com. Until next time, remember, you're just one flip away from freedom. Want to make a difference? If you enjoyed today's show, please pay it forward and head over to iTunes. Give us a rating and leave a review so others just like you can benefit and take charge of their financial future.